Howdy goons, this is the third video in my Game & Watch retrospective, so make sure to check out the others on the end card and subscribe if you like it for more games and or watches. More history time. Unlike many LCD handhelds, Game & Watch didn't have an on-off switch. Since they were also watches, they couldn't be turned off at the time. If they were, then you wouldn't be able to tell the time anymore, and it would lose track of its time. This was way before smartphones, of course, but most people had watches back then, and it would have looked really weird to go digging around in your pockets just to check the time. Amazing how time can change everything, even the humble watch. So it was kind of weird for these to be timepieces at all, but if you're getting absorbed in the next game like I did, being able to tell time was actually pretty useful. So what did it do when you were done playing? It would simply show a demo of the gameplay, on loop, which is great as a display piece. These things could last for months on their two LR43 batteries, but I can imagine it was problematic for businessmen and children alike. You have your Game & Watch out on your desk to keep time, and your boss walks by. The demo is running, and now it looks a whole lot like you just quickly put the game down because you saw your boss coming. It feels weird to not have an on-off switch, but Nintendo never really fully realized the power of an internal battery until they made the one for Legend of Zelda NES cartridges, so you could save your game. Game & Watch Vermin, the next entry in the Silver Series Game & Watch games. Vermin is one of the higher selling GWs, selling more than 1 million units, so people have a bit of a soft spot and nostalgia for this one. This is in spite of it being a Silver Series entry, the original set, and thus being much more rudimentary than many later GW games. In the US, this was localized to The Exterminator, immediately breaking the trend of one-word titles. I love the boxes like Vermin's Cream Box and the one-word titles, honestly. It gives these toys a sort of dystopian vibe, like Simulant Nugs, that vegan chicken nugget company. So making it a two-word title is a downgrade for me. Seems minor, but it's about the theming. The Exterminator is a fine name, but it's not the one I would have chosen. If you were renaming it to make it more interesting to an American audience, the more sensible name would have been Whack, or Moles. Since this is just a portable whack-a-mole game, I honestly just described the entire game to you. It's whack-a-mole. On the physical game and watch, we have what looks to be the exact same housing and buttons as Ball. Makes sense, as this game also only needed 2 buttons. We have left, right, game A, B, time, and reset. The controls are super simple. Left moves left, right moves right. You'll move the guy holding the hammers. He takes up 3 spaces, left, right, and center. And the center is his body, and he can't hit moles with his body, but the left and right hammers can. So you move the guy left and right trying to hit the moles. The hit is automatic, so you only need to worry about the hammers being above the right holes as the moles breach the surface. Game A is easy mode, and has moles coming from the left 2 holes and the right 2 holes, with the center never being used. For Game B, the middle hole is also used for moles. You lose either game mode after hitting 3 misses. The gameplay is quite fun despite working very similarly to Ball. It's amazing how much of an aesthetic change can just change everything about how the game plays. As time goes on and the game gets faster and faster, you hit this flow state and it feels less like a reaction game and more of a rhythm game. Even though this is effectively the exact same as Ball, the perspective change makes all that difference and makes it much easier to time and predict catches. When playing Ball, I'd frequently have balls seemingly be directly next to each other, ready to fall at the exact same time. In reality, these balls on the inner track were falling faster, but sometimes the outer track might be slightly ahead. It was very easy to miss catches because you could never tell which one was actually first. But you don't have that problem here. I don't think there was ever a situation in which these 2 moles breached at the same time, so it's kind of super fun. This isn't to say it's without challenge. It gets to be very fast, and there's a bit of a quirk with the life system. In most games like this, if you lose a life, the board clears and it starts up again. Not in Vermin, though. After losing a life, it will resume play where it left off, so if you were overwhelmed before the life loss, you're likely to still be overwhelmed when it continues, making it very easy to lose multiple lives back to back. I did have a lot of fun with this one, and I definitely recommend giving it a try. It's not as complex as something like Greenhouse, but its reaction-based gameplay makes it much more exciting than Flagman. Nintendo seems to agree that this is one of the better titles, as it's been remade multiple times. Similar to how Ball got a remake for the Mario 35th Anniversary Game & Watch, Vermin was included in Zelda's 35th Anniversary Game & Watch, which is kind of puzzling. Vermin doesn't make that much sense as a Zelda tie-in. For Mario, you can do just literally anything. Mario does everything. Zelda kinda does one thing. It's especially weird since there was a Zelda Game & Watch game that was a double-screen game, but because it was a double-screen game, it wouldn't have worked. It's still just a weird choice. In this version, you play as Link as he whacks Octoroks. You can of course play this on RetroFab on itch, emulated on MAME with ROMs, or you can play Game & Watch Gallery 2 on Game Boy Color. In GWG 2, it received a remake version where you play as Yoshi trying to protect his eggs, and it only entirely changes the gameplay. This remake is actually pretty great because the way it elevates the gameplay in a variety of ways. They didn't settle on just doing a graphical update. In this version of Vermin, Yoshi has 6 eggs arranged in a circle, and from the outer edge will come Shy Guys, Koopa Paratroopas, and Boos. Shy Guys get to the eggs very fast, Koopas are slow, and Boos only move towards the eggs when you're not looking. Since Yoshi can hit 2 egg spots at once, positioning becomes that much more important. The animation to hit a baddie can take a little while, and moving has an animation too, so it's much more efficient to position Yoshi in a way that allows him to whack 2 guys at once. Get a little double fist action going. Yoshi's body also doesn't take up space in this one, but it can be a little harder to predict enemy distance and speed in this one. Personally, both are valid ways to play Vermin, but I prefer the original in this case, and that's due to its simplicity. Yoshi's Vermin has way too much going on and can be hectic, and I never really settled into the flow of the game like I did with the classic Vermin. I wouldn't say Yoshi's Vermin is a lesser version, it's more like a secret Game C option, but with much better graphics. I think Vermin works best in its simplest form though, so Vermin Classic is my favorite. The speed in these two just have totally different experiences. Vermin Classic on high speed has a flow, Yoshi's Vermin at high speed is chaotic. The best way to play Vermin is hands down Game & Watch Gallery 2 for GBC. Being a Game Boy Color game makes it very easy to emulate, literally everything can emulate it, and there's a chance it'll come to Switch Online like the third one did. There's no shortage of devices that can handle GBC emulation, but for just 30 to 40 bucks you can get an RG28XX from Anbernic, and it's more than good enough for this. You'll also be able to play GBA, NES, SNES, and PS1. This one is, however, a very simple experience, and might not be worth the work of setting up an emulator or the cost of getting a handheld. If you plan to play any other GW games, you may as well check this one out too. I just don't think you should go seeking this one out specifically. Personally, I'm considering buying a Zelda Game & Watch to get it because I haven't really played any of the classic Zeldas. I haven't played many Zeldas in general. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like Vermin, then you'll probably like me. I'm a rat, chinchilla, hamster, mouse thing. Thems are all Vermins, so you should sub for more Vermin and for more games and or watches. I'm posting a new one of these all the time. Bye!